Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Kiss the Chef. Today our topic will be apples. This is not just the ordinary apple, this is a magic apple. So this is not Snow White, but we make an amazing dish out of these apples. Today we make Apfelstrudel or apple strudel for other people to realize what I'm actually just was talking about in German. So obviously main ingredient is apple, but hold on, what is this? So since this is a sweet dish today, we don't need salt and pepper. So this stuff here, if you have it around, just toss it away. You won't need this. So we will start with the apples here. You can cut it with the skin, but I recommend you actually to take it off. So you have a peeler that obviously doesn't work. Amazing. But you will do the best out of it. Turn around and around. I hope you have a better peeler at home than I got here at the moment. I think for the other apples I will just keep the skin on because I don't want to laugh you more than you're already laughing about this one here. You take all this off. The skin you won't need any longer. So you will chop your apple in half. You will quarter it. You can just take the core out here. That is totally fine. This you won't need, but you can keep it to make some marmalade or whatever you want to do out of it later on. You will turn off the stem of the apple. Same procedure here. If you choose to take it with the skin, you just quarter them up. Take these ones out. So the quarters you will just cut in half, and then you will slightly chop it down. It shouldn't be too fine because else the apples later will be super soft. The apples you choose is pretty much up to you. You could use green apple, makes the whole thing a bit more sour, has a bit more bite. Ideally you will use some brands like Braeburn, you can use Pink Lady, you can also use Gala apple, whatever's around. Depends a bit, mostly on the texture after you're cooking your apples. So you will chop these down here. You will need approximately 4 to 5 apples for one nice strudel that will be good enough for 5 to 6 people around this one. That is pretty much it. So this is the hardest job you have to do, except of the dough later on, but I will not give you all the surprises directly from the start. So now we will heat up a pan because we will cook the whole mix from all these things. So what we would need first is just some plain butter. Putting the butter in here. You can use the whole butter. As more butter as better it gets, also more calories, more weight. You will survive for the next winter definitely as well. So we will take our spatula here. So basically all you need to do is to melt the butter down a little bit. However, here you don't need to wait till the whole thing is hot. You don't need to fry your apples or all of kind of these things. So pretty much you take the whole apples, you can drizzle them straight into the butter. That is totally fine. Take them off your board, and this is it. While this one is still heating up, you take some of the sugar. Don't worry, this is not measured, so I will not put everything, else you will straight get any sickness in this world. A bit sugar in here. You can also use brown sugar or whatever sugar you have around, up to your total preference. Then we will have some breadcrumbs, which we will put in here. This one can be rough, it can be fine, it actually doesn't matter. It's more to absorb with the moisture, so your strudel will not wet through and it will not break on the bottom, that you have some mushy thing that looks good, but as soon as you want to pick it up, it will fall apart in 1,000 pieces. We have some almond flakes here. However, if you don't like nuts, keep it out. If you hate almonds and you want to put something else, feel free. This is pretty much optional, whatever nuts you would want to do it. Traditionally, it is almonds or in some cases hazelnuts, but you can also choose whatever else on a nut that you want. You put also this in here as well. And then a very controversial thing is the raisins. A lot of people love it, a lot of people hate it. It's up to you. You can put a lot in, you can put less in. I love my raisins, so I will just put all of it. And then some cinnamon powder, which just gives it this nice, cozy European winter feeling that you have while eating a nice apple strudel in the afternoon with some amazing coffee to it. So as you see, this one here starts now a little bit boiling around. That is all right. So you mix up the whole thing here. Obviously, in this case here, it's a little bit too much butter, but that doesn't matter because nobody ever had a bad story with some butter happening. So we will just add a few more of the breadcrumbs here and add some more of the nuts. So this is a good fix if you have too much butter used because you didn't read the recipe like I. This one you can do in a pan. If you prefer, you could also do this already in an oven. You can just put all the ingredients on a tray. You bake it at 180 degrees about 5 minutes and it will do the same effect. And then you basically just mix it up later on with some butter. So this is already the whole magic about this one. So we take the heat off. Now we will make some space on our chopping board here. So this is now more the difficult thing on the whole procedure. It's about our dough. So the dough I prepared already, since it would need to rest in the fridge for about 1.5 hours. It's a regular pastry dough for an apple strudel. It basically contains not much. There is some water, some flour and a little bit of salt. As you see, it's a very stretchy dough, because magic on this dough, you will not roll it with a rolling pin. So traditionally this one is hand pulled. So that's also why I put now here that cloth on the table. So ideally here you have your strudel, you will just pull it out. It's a very elastic dough, so it will pull back, it will take you some time. Ideally the shape that you should focus here on is to get a nice rectangle out of it. As thinner it gets, as better it is, and more you can roll it in. So this one you can do more on this part here. You can also shake it around, you can flip it. If you know already how to make a pizza, this one will definitely work. However, the dough is a little bit more fragile than a regular pizza dough, so it will easily rip if it gets too thin. Grandmas always say the best consistency for the dough is if you can read your newspaper through it, which is pretty thin, but this one will definitely need some practice. I will not make the dough here that big, because also our filling is not good for 20 people. So let's say you have your dough like this. I personally prefer to always take a little bit of butter, because we didn't have enough. This one is just a little bit melted butter to brush it on the bottom. So after you stretch your dough, just a little bit more butter. This is not a necessary step, but as I say, it depends how creamy, how nice you want to have the thing. So after you have this one, just to make a little bit more space here on the side, you give it a last stretch. As you see, you can get these holes. If they are on the side, it doesn't matter. If in the middle, you will have an issue later on because your dough will crack over. So then you take all your filling here. Ideally, this one cooled now down a little bit, so it makes it easier to work with. So you put your nice filling here. If you would prefer to add anything else, feel free. There's no police around who will check what you're actually putting in your apple strudel. Depends how much you want to impress actually the guests you are serving this to. Or maybe you're just having a nice Netflix day and you will eat the whole apple strudel by yourself. This is totally up to you. So we will put the whole thing in there, putting this pot on the side. So here now, there's two options to do this. You can either spread it out all the way and roll it in like a swirl, or you can do the easier version, which would then be you put it in the middle and you will roll it around. I will show you the easier one first, because it makes it also easier for you to at home. So you add your items in the middle here. You will take your dough, which is then also a bit stretchy. You will fold it over. You will nick it in on the side, push it a bit together, and then you will roll the whole strudel. Try to have it as tight as possible, so this will help you to avoid all the air bubbles later on. For the excess butter that is floating out here, you don't need to worry. This one will anyway be going out. On the sides, in they're open, you will take out whatever is falling. You will just fold it under the strudel. On the other side, the same thing. So this would be almost ready. You give this one just a little brush with the butter on the top. It doesn't need to be too liquid, because else it will not run down. In the meantime, you can heat up your oven. You can also start this before you do it, about 220 degrees. It will need 25 to 35 minutes depending on your oven. You usually don't need to turn it around. So for this one here, you would need a baking tray, which you will have for your oven. You take your strudel. You can also do it on a board, but if you use a towel, it's easier to move it up. You will put it here, and obviously this will go straight to the oven. But since I know that you guys, like always, usually don't have the time to wait now 30 minutes watching me talking about any stories in life, I will just put this on the side here, because I got one in the oven already, which amazingly is just done now. Here you go, this one came fresh out the oven. It's on a cold tray, so don't worry, I'm not using a towel and burning my fingers. This is not a trick. So after this one here, it's the same thing. Ideally, you will just brush it a little bit with the butter on top to give it that nice gloss. And this would be your apple strudel. On top of these, because there's not enough sugar inside and you want to make it look pretty, you will need a small strainer, a sieve. It can be pink like this one and very cute, or you can use whatever you want. You will just take some icing sugar and then you will dust it from the top that it looks nice and pretty. You can also take this part and do it on your plates, and here will you go. You have an apple strudel. It's good for 5 to 6 people and you can definitely enjoy it, and I will also enjoy it in a bit. And then this would be your amazingly nice and big filled apple strudel. I will just cut myself a nice piece of this one. Here we go. And I think it needs a little bit more of the sugar. So we'll try on this. Definitely grandma would approve. Mwah.